having an all-night revival. Some call the women.
It is time for Shots and Ladders, your home for gambling, drinking, and degeneracy. On episode 1 of Shots and Ladders, we're going to be breaking down week 1 of the NFL season. Football's finally back. Life is good. Life is better.
We missed it.
Cannot wait. We're going to go through every game on Sunday, going who we think is going to win against the spread, where the money is, who's going to win money line. We have underdogs. We have favorites. Pretty much everything with the storylines of the NFL this season. I'm super jacked up. After that, we're going to be building our ladder parlay. Now, joining me is our resident professional poker player, NFL encyclopedia, and honestly degenerate gambler, Connor Franklin.
What we do best.
Connor, why don't you explain what the ladder parlay bet is and how it works and how we're going to make a shit ton of money this year using it?
Yeah, so pretty much how we do our ladder parlay is we're going to go through, talk about all the games, figure out which ones I like, which one Colson likes, and then once we agree on a couple, we're going to put our favorites down here. So the way the ladder parlay works is we're going to take our 3 favorite games and put them down here. That's going to be the start of your ladder. We're going to put high money on that 3-leg parlay, knowing that it's going to hit, because we never miss. We don't miss games. And then we're going to couple that after we make that 3-leg parlay with our next 2 in a 5-leg parlay, couple that 5 with a 7-leg parlay, so on and so forth until we have 5 different bets that are going into this NFL week. All it takes is one 11-leg parlay, and you're making money. I hit 2 of them last year, and we're hoping to hit a lot more this year, working with the 2 of us. So,
yeah, absolutely. We're going to work together to create this, but the most important thing about this parlay ladder, from what I understand, it's not new to me, but Connor is the one that's perfected it from what I've seen, and he is kind of the expert of the ladder parlay bet. But the way it works, correct me if I'm wrong, is your highest unit bet on the 3-leg parlay. We're almost banking on that hitting. That makes the parlay. If you hit the 3-leg, that's going to pay for the 4th and 5th, the 6th and 7th, the 8th and 9th, the 10th and 11th.
Yes, all of the above. There might be a week or 2 where we're less confident on the 3 and we put a little bit less down. We're going to play it based on the week to week. Sometimes we're going to agree on all of the 3, and we're probably going to bet a lot more than we should on those 3-leg parlays. But it's going to pay for all of the weeks where we accidentally miss one. Not that we ever do, because obviously gambling is a perfect strategy.
Yeah.
And I never miss a bet.
Gambling is more like investing.
It is.
You know what you're
doing. Investing in yourself. Investing in your confidence.
Well, to start us out then, let's get to week 1 of NFL football season. Quick recap just on the 2 games that have happened the last 2 nights. I mean, it was the longest wait ever for the football season to be here.
God, dude, we missed it.
I know. We even had the Olympics that helped break up the drought of football. But really, I mean, when we don't have football, it's just
nothing cures the seasonal depression when you don't have football.
Even the days are longer, the sun is out longer. It should be the happiest time of the year, but it's not.
It's not.
Football season is. So Thursday night, we had Kansas City Chiefs playing Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore went into Arrowhead. Hell of a game.
Isaiah Likely is a dog.
Isaiah Likely is tight end 1 for Baltimore Ravens.
He is. He looks better than Mark Andrews did. Isaiah Likely has impressed over the last 2 different preseasons, and a lot of time last year when he would come in for Mark Andrews when he was hurt. But you look back 2 years ago, Isaiah Likely was one of the number 1 pickups in all dynasty leagues because of how well he did in the preseason. Because obviously Mark Andrews is getting a little bit older. Everyone's kind of expecting him to eventually leave with the Ravens. And Isaiah Likely stepped in, and he's been a preseason darling. He's been a regular season darling. And I really think that this year he's going to take a big step forward.
I think so, too.
Tight end 1 and 2.
I think it's funny that, I guess it's not funny, but we're always looking at, Travis Kelce, and he's, 29 years old? 28?
He's older than that. He's 32, 33.
Is he?
100%.
Oh, my bad. anyways, people keep saying like, oh, he's going to retire. He's going to retire. He's going to retire. At some point, they think, I don't know if he's
34.
got what?
34.
Oh, I was way off. Then yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I just, for some reason, in my football brain, which again, I'm more of a college football guy, or was more of a college football guy. You're the NFL encyclopedia.
Trying
But
my best.
Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce in my football world have always been like 1 and 2, going back and forth. George Kittle obviously being in there. But
When he's not hurt.
nobody talks about Mark Andrews getting old. Nobody talks about Mark Andrews retiring. Nobody talks about Mark Andrews like hanging it up. Travis Kelce, they've been talking about Travis Kelce like, oh, is he going to play again this
Years.
year? Is he? So we know Mark Andrews isn't hanging it up. And last year when Mark Andrews was hurt, he had Isaiah Likely come and play for him and was dominant. I mean, he was like, if you got Isaiah Likely on waivers after the first game that Isaiah Likely started, it was like, yeah, we're fantasy team's looking good. And then this year in the fantasy drafts, Isaiah Likely doesn't even. There was multiple leagues I'm in. He didn't even get drafted.
I have a waiver wire pickup already submitted for him in every league that I'm in.
I do too, because he's on waivers. But then they go out and they play, and he's wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
It was clear he was wide receiver 1. Even when they did get touches to Mark Andrews, he looked slow, sluggish, unathletic. He fell right before getting a first down.
He did. He cost them a first down.
Yeah, I don't know.
Debatably cost them the game, but
Crazy.
the Chiefs looked good the whole game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Likely was a one toe away from sending them into overtime. But the Chiefs looked good the whole time. Rashee Rice is an absolute dog. The Chiefs are going to be a fun team to watch this year. Legitimate chance for a three-peat.
If I could just call for anything though, like if I had that phone, where I could pick it up and I could call Roger Goodell, or I could call guy who's the official for the guy they call in when they have a play. My God, I can't remember his name.
Use your brain here.
Gene Steratore. If I could call Gene Steratore, or if I could call Roger Goodell, or the head of officiating, Juwan Taylor is false start on every single play. He's off.
He is.
He's false starting on every single play. He's jumping early on every single play.
He always has been. You can look back the last 4 years. You can look back to his time in Jacksonville before he was on the Chiefs. He does it every single play because he gets a head start on every single edge rusher that's rushing him, and he only gets called on it 2 times a game. It's a genius strategy. If you're only going to get called every once in a while, fuck it.
Yeah, because he did it last night. He did it 18 times, let's say, which is probably generous. He probably did more like 25 times.
Yeah.
18 times he gets called for it twice. It's like you're getting a half-step advantage every single play, and you're not getting penalties for it. Like, yeah, you should. And that's Chiefs football. That really is Chiefs football, because that's just taking advantage of what
Patriots cheated for years, and look at them. They're the #1 dynasty in the world.
It's like poker, man. You play the hand that you're dealt, and he's playing that hand. But yeah, the Chiefs is still the Chiefs. The Chiefs are looking good, and I was bummed out the Ravens lost, obviously, because my wife is such a big Ravens fan. But the Chiefs are going to be.
I had a lot of money on the Chiefs, so
yeah.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
And then the game tonight.
Yeah,
you want to talk about a football game? Eagles-Packers
in
Sao
Paulo, Brazil.
Rough.
Packers wore green. I thought the whole reason Eagles wore black and white was because they're not allowed to wear green in Brazil. And it seemed like that was kind of a headline thing. Like that was a big deal. We were not allowed to wear green in Brazil. Green Bay Packers come out just strutting their normal uniforms. I love that move.
Why do you think they lost the game?
Well, I thought it was a great move. I thought that was it was almost like a power, like dick on the table. Like, yeah. I don't care where we are. We're going to wear our unis. But hell of a game. Jordan Love looked really good.
Hope he's all good. That injury at the end.
I don't think he will be.
It didn't look great, but it didn't look like he was hurt too terribly. I was watching on the post game. Jalen Hurts went over and dapped him up on the sideline.
He was walking normal.
Yeah, he was walking, or he was sitting down at the time, but it didn't look like he was actively in pain. There wasn't medical trainers around him. I'm guessing he tweaked his knee. I don't think it's going to be anything major. As far as I know, from the casual football watcher that I am, watching from the couch, he looked fine. I would be shocked if he's not ready to go by next week.
I think high ankle sprain, based on the film, based on the replay of where he got hurt. Looked like a high ankle sprain to me, which is like a 2 to 3 week injury, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think it's going to be detrimental. Malik Willis did not look good on the
He's
last
terrible.
two plays.
He
Yeah,
didn't
it
look
was
good
not
on the Titans. He didn't look good on the Packers.
Yeah. So hopefully Jordan Love comes back quick for the Titans' sake. Jalen Hurts
Started off really rough. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it
Didn't
was the
look
field
great.
out. I don't know if it was the field, but we were watching player after player tripping, falling, stumbling for the first quarter. And there was a lot of miscommunications. And obviously Jason Kelce retired. He lost his starting center, and there's nothing like a quarterback and a center's relationship in football. In my mind, it's one of the most underrated relationships out of anything. Like, you look back to all of the great quarterbacks. Like, the main one that comes to mind for me is Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday. They were best buds the whole time. Everyone's seen the clips of them like going at it on the sidelines, fighting, and it's because they were so close and they could critique each other.
You could do that.
And they were the only people that were allowed to critique each other that way. You're not seeing some backup running back come up and critique Peyton Manning.
No.
That's a good way to get kicked off the team.
Yeah. Out of the
But Jeff Saturday comes up and says something, and Peyton gets fired up, but he listens to it.
Right.
And losing Jason Kelce is going to hurt. Jurgens did good.
Cam Jurgens
he did good.
He's athletic. He did good.
They had a couple mishaps. There was an early snap. There was miscommunication on the tush push, the fumble. Saquon though. Saquon was a god this game.
Can talk about
Thank God I picked him up on my fantasy team. That's what we do. I just know everything. I don't miss in fantasy.
Okay.
But
Saquon had a great game. Saquon did. Jaden Reed. Dog. Yeah,
Absolute really dog.
That's a fantasy waiver. He got picked up. I think he was 12th, 13th round.
He was a pick, but that's the beautiful thing about the Packers, and we talked about it while we were watching the game. They have so many different receivers that, in my mind, are equal. Yeah. Like, you're not ever going to say this is the number one, and they don't need a number one. I believe they did an interview with Jordan Love this offseason, and he talked about the fact that they didn't have a number one. They had 4 guys who did everything really good.
Right.
Wicks, Dobbs, Christian Watson, and Jaden Reed. They all do very many things very good. They don't need to have someone that's the alpha because the defense doesn't know who to cover. As soon as they see a good matchup against a corner they don't like, they're throwing him the ball. This week it happened to be Jaden Reed, and he looked great. Next week, it could be Christian Watson. It could be Romeo Dobbs. It could be Dontavian Wicks. It could be anyone.
It'll be interesting to see when they get down the road because a couple of them are going to get to the end of their rookie deals and want to get paid. And it's not like they can pay each of them a $15 million deal and like spread out all the receiver money that they would be putting into like a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or CeeDee Lamb and spread that out between 4 receivers and keep this like 4 like people just generally aren't that unselfish. That would be, the most winning formula.
It's not going to happen.
The most winning formula if it could work out, but it's not going to happen. So then they're going to have to pick like, okay, who's our clear-cut wide receiver 1? Who are we going to pay this big contract to? Who's our clear-cut receiver 2? After today, Jaden Reed is, I think, in pole position. Christian Watson has proven himself. He did a lot last year. I think Romeo Dobbs has been underwhelming.
So I was going to say, I don't think you should be too quick to judge it based on just today's performance. I think it's going to be much more about what happens season long. This is second year of Jordan Love era.
Right.
Who's going to emerge as his true number one target? Who's going to, even if it's not a number one receiver, who's his go-to? Like when the ball needs a catch, like when they need an absolute play, who are they going to? Who are they throwing the ball to? Who does Jordan Love trust? That's who they're going to put their money in. And as a Steelers fan, obviously, we've never had like multiple receivers that always stay in the lineup. We've always had one good guy and a bunch of rotational players. Yeah. And Big Ben, during his entire career, was able to make the best out of those rotational players. And then we got rid of them. Santonio Holmes was great for a couple years. Mike Wallace was great for a couple years.
There's a lot of guys that can catch the damn football.
You take number ones, and then you just kind of let the number 2s and 3s cycle through.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be interesting with the Packers. But both great games. Loved watching them. It's good to have football back. I'm glad they chose 2 very good, very competitive games.
Right.
And I won a lot of money on both of them because I don't miss.
And hate to be that guy, but let's stop throwing so many goddamn flags. We just
Let's
don't need
talk.
it. Yeah,
Let's talk.
we don't need
Game
it.
number 1.
All right. First game of the 11 o'clock slate for Sunday, September 8th, 2024, week 1 of the NFL season. We have the New England Patriots going into the Cincinnati Bengals. This is probably,
Patriots are going to get creamed.
it might be the most lopsided, maybe the second most lopsided game of the slate. Patriots are going to lose.
I would be in a lot of trouble if they don't. I'm in a lot of Survivor leagues where I picked the Bengals in almost all of them. They are actually the second highest money line bet percentage of people taking them to win the game.
The Bengals.
The Bengals over the Patriots. So Bengals are 7.5 point favorites. New England's traveling to Cincinnati, and obviously there's a lot of issues with the receivers right now. So T. Higgins most likely not playing. Came out today that I don't know if he's officially out or he's doubtful right now. He's listed as doubtful.
Doubtful usually means no. Questionable means yes. Doubtful means no.
So the odds are that he doesn't play. Jamar Chase,
Okay.
It looks like he's going to play.
He
came out and said that he was going to play. He hasn't practiced, but him and Joe Burrow have been working together for how many years now, back to LSU.
Yeah.
They're going to come straight back in and have that connection.
They've been practicing in Joe Burrow's backyard.
And honestly, I truly believe that if the Bengals didn't have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow, they could still beat the fucking Patriots.
Oh, dear.
It's bad.
Okay.
It's bad. The Patriots are not going to be good.
Pats are in
Week
a tough
1,
spot.
rookie quarterback Drake May.
Pats are in a tough spot.
Wish him the best, but also fuck the Patriots.
Well, he's not starting. Jacoby Brissett's
Oh,
starting.
he's not. I didn't even think
Jacoby
about
Brissett's
that.
starting.
Jacoby Brissett's starting.
So,
which he looked bad. You want to talk about preseason football? So that was one of the biggest shocks.
He was really good
for
with
me.
the Colts in 2021, was it?
So that was one of the biggest shocks for me that came out of the preseason was Gerard Mayo, first-year coach for the Patriots, coming over, taking over for Bill Belichick. He's a player's player. He played for so many years in New England. Everyone hyped him up, and they were like, okay, what he truly values is how you play on the field. And there was a lot of talk coming out of New England that whoever truly played better was going to be the starting quarterback. And I don't know everything that went in training camp. I don't have insider resources as to what was going on in the practice fields, but as far as the gameplay goes, Jacoby Brissett looked so much worse than Drake May. It was a shock when they announced him as the starter.
I don't think it was a shock simply because when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, it's all about confidence, right? Like how many rookie quarterbacks have been destroyed? Their careers get destroyed because they get started too early, and then so say you start Drake May and he goes 6 games and the Patriots are 1-5, and then you pull him and put Jacoby Brissett in. His confidence is shot. He's probably not making it back up. But if you start Jacoby Brissett, Patriots start 1-5. Then you pull Jacoby Brissett and you put in Drake May. Drake May's got 6 games under his belt. It's probably going to be more like 9-10 games, but he's got games under his belt of watching Jacoby Brissett be a starting quarterback, watching what that's like, and just kind of learning the system, getting more accustomed to being in that atmosphere on the sidelines, hearing the fans. Then you put Drake May in. Season's already gone. You're at that point 2-8 or 1-6 or whatever. You put Drake May in, you get to ride him the whole season. You're not putting him in and then pulling him out. I think that's the really scary thing for head coaches, offensive coordinators, GMs is you put the rookie quarterback in and then you're forced to pull him out. Confidence is shattered. You're not getting him back. So I don't think it was a shock that even though Drake May, if it was a competition, if it was a quarterback competition, Drake May won the competition. I don't think it was. I think the plan was to start Jacoby Brissett from the start. And I think Gerard Mayo said something about that. Like the plan is the plan. Plan's been the plan. Him and Elliott Wolf had it mapped out. We're going to stick to the plan.
I give it till week 5. Week 5, Drake May will be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. Heard it here first. The insider scoop. I actually got Gerard Mayo on speed dial.
Nice. That's good.
Week 5 is where they're playing for. But okay, so what's your pick for the game? Cincinnati, 7.5 point favorites. Which side of the spread are you taking?
I'm going to go Bengals 7.5. I don't see the Pats keeping it close. I think Joe Burrow, this is the first time Joe Burrow has had like a true offseason,
Without
true
being hurt.
preseason, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to come out blaring his guns. I think he's kind of got something to prove. Bengals have always been off to a slow start, and he's gonna come out with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I think he's gonna have a hell of a game, and Bengals are gonna run it up. I think they're gonna win by 21 plus. I would buy up the spread as much as I could
Yeah.
on that one.
I don't know about fully 21, but yeah, double digits. Bengals are winning this game.
Could
No
I get
no doubt about it.
could I get the Bengals money line odds from you, please, sir?
Bengals money line odds are minus 340.
Okay, that is a no-go. That's an absolute no-go. I just need to know how bad it was.
Yeah, it's. It's a free bet. However much money you put on the Bengals money line, it will hit. Patriots will not win this game. Moving on to game 2.
Game 2, we have
Obviously
Arizona Cardinals going at the Buffalo Bills. 41% of money is on the Cardinals with the spread.
Big game for you.
59% is on the Bills.
Big game.
I don't think it's disrespectful because I get it that everyone sleeps on the Cards. Everyone should. You know, they're not the. To paint a picture, I went into the Boise Mall today to buy some Cardinals gear. Phoenix, Arizona is a 9-hour drive away. Seattle is 7.5. Denver, Colorado is 10.5. There is no, for this Arizona Cardinals team being the second closest in proximity to Boise, Idaho, there's no Cardinals gear. People don't like the Cardinals. Nobody roots for the Cardinals. Cardinals have been bad for a long time. I get it. I happen to be one of the only Cardinals fans, it seems like, on the planet. What people don't...
For a reason.
Yeah, I get that. But what people don't understand is Jonathan Gannon's different. Kyler Murray's different. 2021, we were 7-0. We were the number 1 power ranked team in the NFL with a healthy Kyler Murray. I think we finished 12-5. Kyler Murray got hurt in the playoffs, and we ended up losing in the first round, which is what it is. Last year, however, we were 3-0 against the spread in our first 3 games with Joshua Dobbs, the Pastronaut. Jonathan Gannon had the team playing with fire. Anybody that actually watches Cardinals games watches the way that they played last year. I was live. I was in the stadium when Cardinals played the Ravens. Huge underdogs. It was a touchdown game. Cardinals were this close to winning that game, coming back in the fourth quarter against the Baltimore Ravens last year. They played with a fire under their ass. They didn't even have Kyler Murray, their starting quarterback. Jonathan Gannon's first year in Arizona. Cardinals they're the most slept on team this year. And honestly, plus 6.5 Cards versus Bills, I don't think I've ever been more confident in taking a spread bet. And yes, I'm biased, and I understand that you probably don't feel the same way, but Cardinals, I think I would take the Cardinals money line, and I'd probably put the whole fucking house on it. Honestly, that's the way I feel.
So that's where I'm going to disagree with you. I think that the Cardinals, with the spread, is a good pick. Okay. But money line, I'm still going to go Bills money line. The Bills lost a lot of offensive production this year between Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, who is always on my absolute hate list. Right. Fuck Gabe Davis.
Wow. Okay.
I don't like him. I've had him in fantasy too many years. I've bet on him too many years. Nothing against Gabe Davis. I'm sure, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Every single time I have ever bet on him and put money on him, he puts up 1 catch for 13 yards off of 7 targets.
Right.
It's like he has the worst games ever every time I bet against him. So great guy. I'm sure he's a great guy.
Sure, he's a good dude.
As far as betting goes,
bingo.
Fuck Gabe Davis.
Okay.
But they lost a lot of production from it, and it's interesting to see how the Bills will recover this year. So you bring in some new talent. So Keon Coleman. You bring in Curtis Samuel, who was on the injury report, but he is a full participant in practice.
Is he? Good.
So it's looking like he's going to be in. And next up, Boise State. Let's take a shot for mentioning Boise State.
Boise State alumni.
fucking Shakir.
Hey, we love Khalil Shakir.
Love him.
You went on quite a bit of a tangent earlier about quarterback-center relationships.
I did.
Did you know that the Buffalo Bills lost their center?
Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse. Morse. M-O-R-S-E.
Morse.
Yep.
That's what I said. Mitch Morse is no longer with
I
them. What do you
actually-
think about that?
I did not know that.
No? Yeah,
No,
Mitch Morse.
I did not.
Good guy.
Who's starting for him now?
Boise State. Hey, Broncos. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Boise!
State!
I honestly have no idea where Mitch Morse went. I just know he is no longer on the Buffalo Bills. So you not only lost Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and Mitch Morse, you also lost Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde.
They lost a lot of key pieces here.
Leaders. We're talking leaders. I mean, Mitch Morse was the leader of their offensive line. Jordan Poyer was the leader of their secondary. I mean, Micah Hyde also was the leader of their secondary.
But you want to talk about who stepped in for him.
For Mitch Morse,
Yeah.
who do we got?
A guy with absolute best name known to human history.
Oh,
Connor
God.
McGovern. Connor McGovern. How can you root against a guy named Connor?
Easily.
Just like that. Just like that, I'm all in on the Bills again.
I can easily root against a guy named Connor. So you're taking Cardinals with the points, is what I understand.
So I would be taking the Cardinals with the points, but I don't think I'm as gung-ho on taking them as you are. They're not going to be one of my top three here. I can tell you that right now.
I'm fine with
Just
that.
because the Bills with Josh Allen are always going to have infinite boom or bust potential.
Right.
I could see the Bills coming in here and losing this game by 14. I could also see them coming in here and winning this game by 40. There's both sides of it because the Cardinals are very unproven as well. So
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's returning. He's great. James Conner has been an outstanding back for the last year. Wish he was that good while he was on the goddamn Steelers, but
Right.
Pittsburgh legend, shout out the guy. He's fought through a lot to get here.
Yep.
You look at your receiver core, it's a lot of unproven talent that I'm big fans of. Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously one of the best receiver prospects to come out of college in the last however many years. He looks amazing. Michael Wilson, absolute dog. Love rooting for the guy. But it's a lot of unproven talent. You don't have a 1,000-yard receiver in this group yet. Trey McBride, also very good.
Proven talent.
Proven talent. In my mind, he is the best receiver, or the best proven receiver coming into this team. And if Kyler can lean on Marvin and lean on Trey McBride, I think you guys can do very well. I'm interested to see how everything starts melding as the season goes. I see the Cardinals as a team that's going to catch fire towards the back half of the year. I could see you guys starting out 3-4, 3-5, and then catching fire and pushing, if not making, a playoff spot. But I'm going to take the proven talent Buffalo Bills for the money line, so I'm a little bit hesitant on this.
Okay. Keep your eye on Dennis Gardick, by the way. Watch Dennis Gardick.
Let's see it. Okay,
next
moving into
game,
game 3.
Jags, Dolphins.
Miami is -3 at home.
76% of the money is on Miami with the spread.
91% on Miami with the money line. How do you feel about that? So the Jaguars, going into last season, so I never know how to feel about the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. You look at Trevor Lawrence's numbers, does not look good.
Yeah.
If you look at him just on a stat book, he doesn't look good. You look at him playing on the NFL field, he looks average. But you think about all the talent that he has coming out of college and the talent that they've surrounded himself with. Travis Etienne is an absolute beast.
Travis Etienne.
Brian Thomas Jr. coming out of college looked amazing in preseason.
That's a bit of a wild card.
He's going to be, I think he steps in and immediately becomes their number one receiver because Christian Kirk is not a number one receiver. He is probably the best number 2 receiver in NFL football right now.
Yeah.
But he should not be a true number 1 receiver. That's why the Cardinals didn't keep him all the time back there.
Devontae Smith? I mean, come on.
Okay. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best.
He's a hell of a deep threat.
And I think if Brian Thomas can come in here and solidify himself as the guy in Jacksonville, we were looking at the start of last year as the Jaguars being the clear runaway favorite for the AFC South before C.J. Stroud came out and whipped his dick out and put it on top of the entire NFL and said, hey,
Bingo.
I'm the guy now. I don't think anything has really changed for the Jaguars since then. They had a couple good games last year. They had a couple bad games last year. I still think that they're going to win the AFC South. I think they will beat the Houston Texans for the AFC South this year. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence. If he does one more year of being mediocre, maybe I'll hop off the hype train.
So you're taking Jags with the points here?
I would take Jags with the points right now.
Okay, I'm taking Dolphins
But-
with the points.
but don't feel good about either one of them. The three.
It's a stay
anytime
away
there's
game
a
for
three,
you?
it's a stay away game for me because I.
When you have
could-
76% of the public money on the Dolphins with the spread, with the spread,
Public money
91%.
has lost twice in a row to start the NFL year.
Yeah, but those were close. I mean, those were tight.
This is a 3-point spread. You don't think this one's going to be tight?
Also, Mike McDaniel's 3-0 in season openers. 20-0. Mike McDaniel's 3-0.
And I could see this game going either way. That's why I don't feel confident about it
Oh my
either way.
God! All right,
But I will put money on the Jaguars +3.
Texans Colts.
Either one could be good because you think about Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle,
It's
Devon
Miami.
Achane,
It's fucking
Raheem
Miami.
Mostert. They have the highest potential for offense ever with the most mediocre quarterback you've ever seen.
Oh my. Okay. Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. They're in the Lad House.
I think
AFC South.
I haven't
matchup,
talked to you about
week
this
1.
game, but I have a ginormous feeling that we're going to have different opinions on this game.
Why?
What's your opinion on this game?
I
Are you betting heavy on Houston?
not. I think Anthony Richardson on the Colts was really good for 4 games last year. I think it's hard to say it, but what CJ Stroud did was so out of the norm. I feel like it's such a high that you get to that coming back week 1 of the next NFL season, like, is he gonna live up to that? I just don't see it. I think
We're
Anthony
100%
Richardson,
on the same train then.
Yeah,
Because
Anthony
what-
Richardson
what
has so
he
much
did-
to prove.
Yeah,
And he,
so much to prove.
yeah,
He's an unproven talent right now. And I despise, disgusted with this line. Because Colts at home +3 versus the Texans is an interdivision game. Anthony Richardson's coming off an injury. And you would think, based on the production that they had last year, that the Texans, adding Stephon Diggs, adding Joe Mixon, would be like a 6.5 to 7-point favorite. The fact that all of the money and the Vegas casinos say that Indianapolis is only a 3-point dog, it feels like a disgusting
it's
line
gross.
to me, where it feels like they're trying to have everyone take Houston, and then Indianapolis is going to keep
They
it
know
within
Indy's
2 or
gonna
1
win.
points. And because division games always come close.
Did you see the
Every
video?
single division game
Did you
comes
see the
close.
video of Indianapolis's offensive line walking into practice? It's like, picture cornfield, Nebraska, white boy, born and raised, eating cornbread beef, and like, you see what I'm saying? 6'7", 310 pounds, scruffy beard, walking like that. Like, you see that guy?
Yeah.
That guy, and then clone him. One
5
after the other, and it just kept going. They kept walking out, and it was like then the backup offensive linemen are walking out, and they're all the same. And they were calling him the blandest offensive line in football, but that got me hyped on the Colts. Anthony Richardson, I think, is going to have a breakout game week 1. I think
the Colts
are
running
fighters,
game. The
dude.
Colts
And the
running
Colts
game is going to
yeah,
be so
Jonathan
good between
Taylor.
Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. Which, bold prediction, Jonathan Taylor is going to go for 2,000 scrimmage yards this year. Rushing and receiving, he's going to hit
I think
the
it's a
2K
good
mark.
prediction, and I think people are not sleeping on. I think people are overhyping the Texans slightly. I do too. And I think the Texans. I don't know that they're buying into the hype, but CJ Stroud was out and about. I mean, he was on Micah Parsons' podcast. Like, you have those guys like Tony Pollard. Didn't even know that Matt Nagy was no longer. Was it Matt Nagy? I think it was Matt.
Where?
Cowboys defensive coordinator last year.
What was it? Was it Dan Quinn?
Dan Quinn, that's what I meant.
Dan Quinn,
sorry.
yeah.
Thank
Went
you.
over to the Falcons.
NFL Encyclopedia, doing your job. Yeah, he went to the Falcons. Tony Pollard came onto the Pat McAfee show during the Super Bowl Radio Row show. Had no idea that Dan Quinn had left the Cowboys. He was the head in the sand fucking workhorse. You have guys like that, and I love rooting for guys like that. CJ Stroud was out and about. I mean, he's in the world. He's hearing the hype. He knows it all. Everybody's gassing him up. I think the Texans are going into this game knowing like, yeah, we're a dog. We're favorites to win the AFC South. I just like the Colts. I like the Colts. I like the Loud House. I like Anthony Richardson. I like Jonathan Taylor. Pierce is such a mean son of a bitch. He's such a good receiver. So is Pittman. I'll take Colts with the points.
See, I'm going to take the Texans with the points, but I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good. I think it's a. I know.
Okay.
I'm still going to take the Texans with the points because I still think that the Texans are a better team than the Colts. But for some reason, to me, everything about it screams trap game. Screams trap game. Vegas is trying to trap us. But I'm still going to take Houston with the points.
I like Colts with the points. Okay, we have Vikings going into not New York, but New Jersey to play against the Giants. 60% of the money is on the Vikings. This is a stay away game for me. I don't know what Sam Bradford is going to look like.
Who? Sam Darnold.
That's what I meant. Sam Bradford's very old. Sam Darnold.
All right, you made a mistake.
Okay,
Take a shot.
Fuck.
Take a shot.
It is shots and ladders. The goal, though, is to make it to the ladder.
Also, though, shout out Sam Bradford. We miss him.
We do miss Sam Bradford.
What a dog.
Sam Darnold. Which, who knows? It's Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell.
Great coach. Great guy.
He was drawing up plays for Joshua Dobbs in the dirt. Week 1, they pull him in from the Cardinals. Weirdest trade I've ever seen. But he comes in. Kirk Cousins is hurt. They say, okay, Josh, I know you don't know any receiver on this team. I know you don't know anyone's names. And he's just literally in his ear mic. Kevin O'Connell is like, this receiver's going to do this. This receiver's going to do this. Throw the ball here. And they won the fucking game. I mean,
yeah.
Kevin O'Connell is a dog. Sam Darnold has left a lot to.
He's left a lot on the table.
Yeah, left a lot to be.
One of my terrible, terrible draft takes is when Sam Darnold was coming out. I'm a big USC fan. Love USC. Always rooted for him. Got accepted there. Didn't go. But I've always rooted for USC.
Okay.
And I loved Sam Darnold coming out of college, and I was rooting for him hard on the Jets. And I might still be a little bit delusional with how much I like Sam Darnold. And it's not that I like him, but I really don't say that I have much more faith in Daniel Jones than I do in Sam Darnold.
I would feel the same way had Daniel Jones not gotten into a fight with the Lions and thrown a punch. So much moxie. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think Daniel earned the respect of his peers. I do think we need to make the conversations about the games a little shorter just because of how long we're running. So I'm just gonna tell you right now I'm going Giants with the points.
I'm going Minnesota with the points.
That's good.
Minnesota -2.
Parity is good. Parity is good. Got it. Ooh, shots going to Brian Dable.
Tennessee and Chicago. Caleb Williams.
This is my least favorite game of the whole. I'm excited for this game. I can't wait to watch this game, but it is the hardest game for me to pick because we have Caleb Williams, who we haven't seen play. We had never seen him play before, but we have a Bears team that we know is good. Bears defense is awesome. Ever since Brian Poles? Yeah. He made the trade for Montez Sweat midway through last season, and it was the weirdest.
Good trade.
We thought the Bears were sellers. The Bears ended up being buyers.
He knew what he was doing.
And the defense changed. I mean, the identity changed. They became one of the most dominant defenses in the league, and they're still going to be one of the most dominant defenses in the league. It's whether their offense can be productive, but they have Keenan Allen. They have DJ Moore. I mean, they just
Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet.
They look so good on paper.
Like, it's a good team.
It's such a good team. But there's such, I mean, and we talked about this stat earlier, and the stats all over the place. Rookie first overall pick quarterbacks since like 1999 are 2-14-1. And you have Caleb Williams now starting against the Titans, who added a lot of weapons. Will Levis
You had
looked
Calvin
good.
Ridley.
You
You
had
had Tony Pollard. Bum.
Okay. Tony Pollard was pretty good last year. So you have DeAndre Hopkins.
What Cowboys team were you watching?
He was on my fantasy team. We did well.
Fantasy is one thing. NFL is another.
Okay.
Tony Pollard was not a good running back. He was a bottom 16 running back in the NFL last year. I don't think he's going to add to the Titans as much as people think. I think Tajay Spears is the starter by week 7. Keep it short and sweet. The Titans added a lot of weapons. Will Levis is coming in second year. But I think Caleb Williams coming in first day is already as good. I'm not crowning Caleb Williams like a lot of people are. A lot of people are saying he's already crowned Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's taking the Bears to the playoffs. He's taking the Bears to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I'm not going that far. But I think already he is to the point that Will Levis is coming in as a second-round pick, second year. I think Caleb Williams, I'm easily, and I'm not even thinking twice on it, taking Chicago with the spread. Minus 3.5. Not even thinking about it.
Okay. I'm
You?
not doing this for the parody because I know we've disagreed on the last 2
We
in a
have.
row. But it's just something about the Titans. I think the Titans are going to be really good, and I'm going to take them with the points. I also think Caleb Williams looked really good in preseason, which is huge for his confidence, and I'm super happy for him. But Bill Belichick says it best. In preseason, the defenses are not showing shit. I mean, there's nothing going on. Judging a player off of preseason is like it just doesn't make sense. Like it's not apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. And I don't think Caleb Williams' first game in the NFL playing against an actual NFL team and an actual NFL defense is going to go as well as people think.
But it's against an actual team that's going to finish 4th in their division, over under 6.5 wins.
I will bet you
Titans will not be good.
Titans will take third, bare minimum, probably second or first in their division.
Over who? Are they going to beat the Jaguars?
Yes, I think so.
You think they're going to beat the Jaguars?
I do. Yeah. 100%. You are sleeping on the Titans. You are sleeping on the Titans. Titans are
You're
not,
underestimating the Jaguars then. You're
I
overhyping
might
the
be
Titans.
I might be underestimating the Jaguars, but I think you are heavily sleeping on the Titans.
Okay, Jaguars versus Titans. Season-long bet on camera. Winner takes a jersey. Loser buys the winner a jersey.
Per team.
Yep.
So if I win, you're getting me a Titans.
Yep. And if
Will
I
Levis
win,
jersey.
you buy me a Jaguars. Player of our choice at the end of the year.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Bet.
Easy
Deal.
money.
Done.
That's
All
the
right.
easiest jersey I've ever won.
No,
Okay.
it's fucking not.
Next
Okay, moving
game,
on.
Pittsburgh and Atlanta.
Steelers Falcons. We're in Atlanta. That's
Boys,
another
I'm scared.
barn burner.
Boys, I'm scared.
I like the Falcons though. I like Raheem Morris.
Here's the thing. I don't want to get overhyped about the Steelers. Our defense looked really good in the preseason.
Who's your starting quarterback?
Russell Wilson is most likely out for this game.
Yeah, we don't
And
even know.
going into the preseason, I would have been ecstatic about this. I do not think that Russell Wilson is anywhere near the level of quarterback that he was when he's on the Seahawks.
Okay.
He looked terrible in Denver. I did not want him in Pittsburgh. Did not want him in Pittsburgh. Justin Fields, on the other hand, I wanted every second of that. And I thought Justin Fields was going to come in and be the chosen one and bring us back to the playoffs. But watching the preseason games, dude, Justin Fields did not look good.
He sucked.
Russell
He
Wilson
sucked.
didn't look great, but he looked like he could command an offense. Here's the other thing, though. Revenge game. Arthur Smith revenge game.
An offensive
Cordero Patterson revenge game.
An offensive coordinator revenge game is not as scary as a quarterback revenge.
It's not. It's not as bad. But I think chip on his shoulder, coming in as the Steelers' offensive coordinator, after getting let go, after it was a pretty bad couple of years in Atlanta. We're not going to deny that.
Mm-hmm.
If Russell Wilson was still in, I would be absolutely hammering Pittsburgh with the spread. 3.5 points. 3.5-point dogs. In Atlanta, I would be hammering it. Kirk Cousins is still coming in, just like Russell Wilson is, learning a new offense, learning a new play scheme. Think about what Arthur Smith does best. What he did in Atlanta is he had 2 running backs, 1 receiver, and 1 tight end. That's the only positions the Steelers have. We got 2 good running backs, 1 good receiver, 1 good tight end. Our offense
Right.
was made for what Arthur Smith is trying to do, and I think Russell Wilson can command that at a very high level. Justin Fields, I hope he does good because I want him to. I don't have
It's hard
confidence
to
in it,
see
though.
that happening, man.
So I'm obviously still going to take Pittsburgh
Okay.
with a spread. I can't pick against them with a 3.5 point spread. If it was 2.5, I would actually pick against them.
That hook is a little scary.
But with that 3.5 point spread, I think I would choose the Pittsburgh because I can easily see this game ending 13-10. Falcons win it. I can see it. And in that case, Pittsburgh wins that spread.
Right, they do, yeah. It's hard. It's a tough one. I like Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a bit of a dog. I think Bijan Robinson's going to have a hell of a game. I think the Steelers organization as a whole was game planning for Russell Wilson to start week 1. And this new setback with his calf I think it's detrimental to the chances. I think Falcons win by 7 or more. I'm going to take Falcons with the spread on this one, brother.
Okay. As of right now, everything I'm seeing is that Russell Wilson still hopes to be in, but it's not looking
I mean, he
good,
did nothing in practice today. He did nothing.
Can we agree if Russell Wilson was starting, it would be a hammer on Pittsburgh plus 2.5?
I'm taking Steelers with the spread. No, I'm not.
You're taking Atlanta with the spread now.
I am. I already took Atlanta with the spread, but I'm taking Steelers with the spread if Russell Wilson's starting.
Okay.
So we need a little asterisk.
Little asterisk
on that one.
Okay. Next up,
Panthers,
Carolina and
Saints.
New Orleans. And
Yikes.
This is where we talked about it.
Yikes.
So 84% of the money line bets are on New Orleans, but, and listen to this, 63% of the spread bets are on Carolina.
What?
63% of the spread bets are on Carolina. People think that they are going to win this game with the spread.
They think
with the spread.
Panthers are
money line
cover.
Saints. Here's the thing: I don't trust either of them. I think
it's such a throwaway game. I mean,
I think as far as what I'm seeing on the NFL schedule, it's the worst game. It's the one that I don't really want to watch. But I'm a Bryce Young believer. I think he's going to turn it around. Obviously, last year he got overshadowed by C.J. Stroud with what he did, by Anthony Richardson, what he did in his couple games. But Bryce Young was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. He had a lot of tools coming out, and I still think he's going to do good. They got Steelers' Deontay Johnson. They still have Adam Thielen. They have a bunch of weapons for Bryce Young to do good. And the Saints, Derek Carr is getting older. He didn't look good last year. What did they do to improve their team last year? Or this offseason? Offense. What did they do to improve their offense this year? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
they didn't bring anyone.
I can't think of a single thing.
Their starting wide receivers are who? They're bums.
You have Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. Chris Olave is not a bum.
I forgot about it.
You also have Alvin Kamara.
Getting older.
He is getting
older. Age of regression for... The age of regression for running backs is pretty young, and Kamara's what? Yeah. He's got to be pushing 30. He's 29 years old.
29, yeah.
Alvin Kamara is due for a regression year. He is great for fantasy in a PPR setting.
He wasn't solid last year, was he?
He was pretty good last year, but he was out for the first couple of games, suspended. But he still came in and was top running back. But the Saints team just they don't inspire confidence with me. And here's the thing, if a team doesn't inspire confidence in me, especially if both of them don't, I'm always going to take the team that's a dog, especially with a 4-point spread.
4 points?
Easily give me Carolina, and I don't even think twice about it.
Yeah, I'll join you with Carolina there.
Yeah.
Now, this next game is really interesting. We have Denver Broncos are going into Seattle, into Lumen Field, play against the Seattle Seahawks. We have a brand new coaching staff for the Seahawks. I think casual fans that I've talked to, because there's a ton. We live in the Boise area. There's so many Seahawks fans. There's so many Broncos fans.
Two most favorite teams.
They are. Yeah, that's the most common fan in the Boise area. Seahawks fans are down and out for the Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks fans have little to no hope unless you find a Seahawks fan who actually like really, really follows football and knows what's going on. Then you say, okay, we have Mike McDonald, who was the defensive coordinator for the Ravens last year, who is now our head coach. So you, and when you look at the Ravens defense last year, it wasn't like you have all these hot shot names. You had Kyle Hamilton, who was like outbursting superstar, but he was a rookie. You had Patrick Queen, you had Roquan Smith. The Ravens defense was good on paper, but it wasn't as good as they were. Like, they were actually so good, and that's because Mike McDonald's an excellent defensive coordinator. That's why he got the head coaching job in Seattle. Seattle is a team that, for the better part of my life, has been known for having stellar defenses. You have the Legion of Boom. You have that Super Bowl against the Broncos where started the game with Peyton Manning losing the snap and it going into the end zone, and I didn't watch the rest of the game.
Couldn't have started better for him.
It was fucking terrible.
Couldn't have started better for him.
I think Seattle with Mike McDonald as their head coach, and then you have the weapons. Geno Smith is such an efficient quarterback. He's very slept on.
So we talk about Mike McDonald coming in on defense. Talk about Ryan Grubbs coming in as offensive coordinator. Ryan Grubbs as an offensive coordinator is an air ball, pass the ball, offense-heavy, aggressive kind of person. I could realistically see Geno Smith throwing for 4,500 yards this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's such an efficient quarterback. He's accurate as fuck. Then you have Jackson Smith-Njigba. You have DK Metcalf. You have Tyler Lockett. Then running back Kenneth Walker is a dog. I mean, Kenneth Walker is so good.
And don't sleep on Noah Fant. Noah Fant was a first-round pick for a reason. He's been
so good on Denver.
He's been underwhelming.
Yeah,
but
he was underwhelming on.
I think their
Seahawks
offense is so good. I think their offense is going to be great this year.
There's a lot to love about the Seattle Seahawks. In the Broncos, you have a rookie starting quarterback. Sean Payton's an excellent head coach, and the Broncos are always going to have a stellar defense. But it's so hard, especially in Lumen Field, which is top 3 loudest stadiums in the NFL. You have a rookie quarterback being in one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL trying to navigate that. It's going to be so hard.
I think the Broncos lose this game by 14 points plus.
I think I'm kind of with you on that. And my little brother Tyson, who is a huge Broncos fan, is going to be very upset to hear that. But Seahawks, what's the spread?
6.
Seahawks are -6?
Seahawks are -6.
Golly, I didn't realize that. That kind of changes things. It doesn't, though. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, we're taking the Hawks.
If it was 7.5, I'd be worried. Yeah. That's where you get a little bit worried about those like hook games. Like if this was a 7.5 point spread, I'm going to be a little bit more worried about taking the Seahawks.
Bingo.
6 point spread, I take the Seahawks, and I don't think twice about it.
Right. Okay, we're moving on to Raiders Chargers. I have 2 words for you. No, it's not 2 words, 2 names. Joe Alt.
Dog.
Max Crosby.
Dog.
We're in LA. Does not mean a lot.
Because the Raiders have more hold in LA than the Chargers or Rams do.
There is a high chance that there is more Raiders fans in that stadium than there are.
Very high chance. Now, but fans don't equate to games. Raiders starting either Aiden O'Connell, or no, they're starting Gardner Minshew.
Dog.
Great backup.
No.
He's a great backup quarterback. He's a great backup quarterback. He will not be starting by week 10.
I think he will. I think he'll start with the Raiders the entire season. I also think Joe Alt, while he is a dog, he's a big man. He is left tackle, starting left tackle, which is the most important offensive line position, against Max Crosby for his first ever start in an NFL game. I see Max Crosby getting 2, maybe 2.5 sacks this game. I see the Raiders bullying the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh getting his feet wet as the Chargers head coach.
Here's a hot take. I'll put 2 shots at the start of next episode. The Max Crosby doesn't get 1 sack.
That's a deal.
You know why?
Why?
Herbert's going to throw the ball 12 times. The Chargers coming out here with Jim Harbaugh, they are going to be a run first team. That's why they took Joe Alt. That's why they brought in J.K. Dobbins.
Okay,
That's why they brought in Gus Edwards. They're going to be a run first team. I don't know what the over-under is on this game. I'd have to pull it up because we're just talking about spreads right now.
It's
but
the
whatever
lowest
the
of all
under
games.
is, I'm gonna hammer the under because the Raiders are not going to be able to score points because their offense is going to be terrible.
Raiders Chargers is the lowest ticketed under of every game on Sunday.
Let's see here. Over-under here. We're sitting at an over-under of 39.5. Yeah, I will hammer the under on that. I think this game doesn't eclipse 30 points.
All right.
Chargers are going to be a run-first heavy team. Honestly, I think the Chargers win this, but I would legitimately take the Raiders +3 just because I think it's going to be such a low-scoring affair. I don't think the Chargers are going to cover 3 points on most teams this year. I think most of their wins will be 1 to 2 to 3 points.
That's how it's been for the Chargers. You think Jim Harbaugh keeps that going? Because Brandon Staley lost games by just the skin of his teeth.
Brandon Staley was a bad coach. I think they're going to keep it close, but for different reasons. Jim Harbaugh is going to keep it close because he coaches his team a different way. Staley kept it close because he was a bad coach.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take Raiders +3.
Okay. I will also take Raiders +3.
Okay.
Moving on to the Cowboys and Browns. Tough game to call. We're going to disagree heavily on this.
Very much so.
Give me the Browns. I don't care about anything that you have to say about it. I think the Browns are going to win this game.
And so that's where I think you're wrong. So Jedrick Wills, absolute stud of a left tackle. Or no, right tackle for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
He's out.
Okay.
Jack Conklin, left tackle, doubtful. Most likely not going to play.
Means usually no.
Usually, two tackles not starting for you. Tackles are the main spot on your offensive line, especially if you have a Cowboys defense that has DeMarcus Lawrence, which, shout out.
Hey,
Boise
that's a
State.
Bronco.
That's a Bronco. That's a Bronco right there. You've got DeMarcus Lawrence, and you have Micah Parsons coming in off the edge, coming in and absolutely wrecking this Browns offensive line.
Oh.
The Cowboys are a better offense, and the Cowboys are a better defense. The defense, I could see if you give some argument to it.
Okay, yeah. So this is where we had a disagreement the other day about the Browns' defense. I would implore you to look up the Browns' defensive numbers. They were like 11 weeks at home with no first downs given up. Like, they hadn't even given up a first down, let alone any points last year. The Browns' defense is phenomenal.
Jack Conklin, the Browns tackle, has been moved to questionable, not doubtful.
He's
questionable.
Playing. Questionable means
that
playing.
means that looks like he's going to play.
He's playing.
But you look at their offense. Deshaun Watson hasn't had a good game starting in the NFL in 2 years. Jerome Ford is a backup running back playing a starting running back role.
He's not a backup. He's a hell of a running back.
He will never be a starting running back on another NFL team. As soon as Nick Chubb comes in, he will be a backup running back until the time he leaves, and he will be forever a second or third string running back. He is not a starting caliber running back in the NFL.
Spare the time, because me and you will argue about this for an hour.
Easy, Dallas. You might not have it on yours. I'm betting heavy on the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys. I hate them. I don't want to root for them, but I'm betting heavy because I love money. Okay.
So you have Dallas
+2.5. Browns are 2.5 point favorites.
Yeah, give me the Browns.
That's ridiculous. If the Cowboys were 3.5 point favorites, even with that hook, I would still take the Cowboys.
I'm so fucking glad that this is all on video because we're going to be able to look back at every single take you had.
We made a bet. We made a bet for the year about the Browns, right?
Yeah. Browns? Yeah.
What was it, 8.5 wins? I took the under. Yeah, I think it was 8.5.
I have a horrible bet.
I have it wrote down somewhere. But no, Browns will be terrible. Absolute guaranteed.
Not a
Never
chance.
even have to think about it. So our bets are over under 8.5 wins. I took the under, you took the over. That's $100 bet. And you also bet that the Browns make the playoffs for $100. And I said they'd miss it. $200.
It's a
Browns are going to win 6 games
quick,
this year.
easy $200.
Easiest $200.
Next game, we have Commanders at the Buccaneers. This is a really easy call for me.
Baker Mayfield.
Give me
dogs.
Baker Mayfield in the Tampa Bay
Easily.
Buccaneers.
3.5 points.
Give me
3.5 points, though.
I
Kinda
don't
feels a
care.
little trappy.
No, I don't
It
care.
feels trappy on paper, but I have such confidence in the Bucks.
I think the
I'm
Commanders
hammering.
I
I'm
think
hammering
the
the Bucks.
Commanders are a dog water organization. An organization. They have new owners.
Yeah.
They have a lot to sort out. They have a petition with 190,000 signatures on changing the name back to the. And it's just the whole organization.
Back to the Redskins. And the reason we can say that name is because the people that are leading that petition are the Native Americans, because
Bingo.
the
Yep,
logo was a great chief. I don't know the name of it. I've seen the article.
Him.
Can't remember it.
Him, not it. Him. Yes.
Let's cut that part.
Yeah. Tough look there.
Because I don't remember the name of him. But I've read. Fuck. Okay, we're cutting this second.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. I don't remember his name, but I've read the article. Native Americans are pushing heavy for it because the logo was representing a great chief from Native Americans. They did not like the fact that we took away
To make it the Commanders.
to make it the Commanders, which
Yeah.
is a terrible
Bullshit.
name. They could have
Terrible.
came up with so many better names.
All right.
Terrible,
Buccaneers by
terrible
1,000.
ran off organization, but Buccaneers,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield throw into Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad White, Kate Otten. They're going to crush the Commanders. I expect this to be 10 points. 10
Yeah.
point spread.
Big time.
Last
Rams.
but not least, Sunday Night Football.
That's not last. We have Monday Night Football after that.
Last for Sunday night.
Last for Sunday night, we have Rams at Lions. Rams are going into Detroit.
As 4.5 point dogs.
4.5 point underdogs. I recall the Lions beating the Chiefs in the season opener last year.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell
takes
is
care of his guy.
batting 1,000 as the Applebee's spokesperson as well.
He is. And it's hard to ever root against him. So one of the most underrated things that happened in the preseason, in my mind, is Ernest Jones. So Ernest Jones was the middle linebacker for the Rams, and he came in 4 years ago from the NFL draft, and he was a mid to late round pick, and no one really thought anything of him. And he came in, and he was just an absolute tackling machine. He was the captain of that defense. He was a stud.
Okay.
They didn't want to pay him. The Rams did not pay him, traded him away. He's gone. And losing him, so as a Steelers fan, we haven't had a good middle linebacker in a long time. I'm hoping Patrick Queen can take that over now that we got him from the Ravens. But watching what a lack of a leader on defense can do to your defense is he's the quarterback of your defense. He's commanding the defensive line. He's commanding your corners on the outside. He's commanding your safeties on the back end. He's commanding the linebackers that he's playing with. Your middle linebacker is the spokesperson for your team. Losing him hurts. I'm high on the Rams this year. I think the Rams are easily a playoff team. Very easily a playoff team. I think they're going to do very well. I think the Lions are going to run all over them this year.
Yeah.
And I will hammer Detroit minus 4.5. Don't love the line.
The line sucks.
Wish the line was a
sucks.
little bit lower. Like if this was Detroit minus 2.5, oh my gosh, I'm putting thousands of dollars.
Yeah, bet the house on that.
But
it's a tough line.
Don't love it, but I'm definitely taking.
I take
Detroit.
it as well. I take Detroit. I love Dan Campbell. I think Jared Goff has really got something going for him. I think the Rams are always going to be there, but Detroit is legitimate Super Bowl contenders. I mean, Detroit is a hell of a football team. I just don't see the Rams competing. To cap it off, last but not least, we have our Monday Night Football game. New York Jets go into San Francisco. Let's hope and pray to God that none of the New York Jets try to go to a signing event and get shot in the chest like Ricky Pearsall.
I hope Ricky's doing good.
Ricky is good.
Ricky.
No, he's good.
He's doing good. He's recovering. Went through his rib.
In the chest, out the back.
Out the back. Shot the guy back, too. What dog?
Allegedly. Took the guy's gun. Tried to rob me.
Both of them sustained gunshot wounds.
They did both. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about what happened.
It's all speculation.
They both sustained gunshot wounds.
It is speculation.
Ricky Pearsall is good to go. Crazily enough, he's saying that he's going to be back by like week 5 or week 6.
Well, yeah,
which is nuts.
He's out for 4 weeks regardless because he got put on like the non-injury list. But
I'm a bitch. I stub a toe and I'm out for like 3 weeks.
If he comes back week 5 of the NFL season, I'm hammering Ricky Pearsall overs.
Here's a question for you, because I don't know the stats on this. I'd have to check it. But has a rookie ever won Comeback Player of the Year? And if he comes back, if he comes back from getting shot in the chest before the week, and he comes in and is a good wide receiver,
that's not a comeback.
Can you give him Comeback Player of the Year?
No.
They gave DeMar Hamlin comeback. They gave DeMar Hamlin comeback player of the year, and he won. He played. He was a backup. But he almost died on the field. Ricky Pearsall got shot in the chest and then came back 5 weeks later. Do you give him the crown?
I don't know. That's a good argument. That's an argument for smarter people.
It would be crazy. I don't know if it would happen. I just want to say it would be nuts if it
also,
did. It'd be nuts.
Really hard to not give Kyler Murray Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year. So, yeah, that would be nuts.
Cardinals fan.
Jets, Niners.
I'm avoiding this game at all.
At all costs
for betting.
Never betting on this game in a million years.
Because we're both choosing one. 4.5 is a weird line. I'm gonna choose the Niners.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for the Niners, but I don't love it. I'm not gonna bet this game.
This game is a stay away game. I'm hard pressed to not take Brock Purdy and the Niners at home against an Aaron Rodgers-led Jets, where Aaron Rodgers very well may play 15 plays before another torn Achilles. I mean,
hope it doesn't happen.
I really
hope for him. That ayahuasca's got him feeling great.
It does.
And Breece Hall,
I've
dog.
heard ayahuasca.
Garrett Wilson, dog.
I think ayahuasca strengthens the tendons.
He almost came back last year, according to him.
It creates a. Yeah. I mean, it really moves. So. But yeah, it's Brock Purdy. It's the Niners. One of their players just got shot in the chest, and Trent Williams was holding out and said,
"I'm coming back.
My holdout's over."
My team.
Yeah, one of my guys just got shot, so my holdout's done.
Honestly, they're good for him,
dude. They're
like,
kumbaya.
What a teammate! What a teammate! You have a holdout going on for contract disputes, for money issues, and your teammate has something like that happen, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm playing. My teammate needs me." A big fan of him. Good for him for coming back for that.
Incredible. So yeah, I'll take the Niners with the points.
I will take them as well.
What do we have?
4.5. 4.5 is the spread.
Niners favored. I will lay the 4.5.
I will as well.
So the next segment of Shots and Ladders, we are going to be building the ladder parlay. However, we did recognize that during our picks of week 1 against the spread, we did not talk about over-unders at all.
And so the reason we don't talk about over-unders too much during week 1 is at least personally, I don't know how you feel about it, I don't ever feel confident in taking over-unders before I actually see a real regular season game. And I know the same argument could be made for making spread bets against them, but before I see an actual team in action, I never feel confident in taking an over-under. But for the free, if you guys want to take it, 3 over-unders that I would take if I were you guys, and I will be hammering them. Raiders, Chargers, under 39.5.
Under, okay, yep.
Cowboys, Browns, over 41. And Jets, Niners, over 43.5.
Yeah, that's a 60-point game.
Those are the 3 that I will give you guys for the free. We're not going to include them on the ladder bets, but over-unders will be included next week.
Maybe not going to include them on the ladder bet.
Okay. Let's make the ladder.
Let's make the ladder.
Okay.
Let's
So
build
let's talk
the
about
ladder.
the ones that we're most confident in here.
Real quick, Connor. Just real quick. Before we get started.
Okay.
Boise State beats Oregon.
100%. Ashton Genty, absolute dog. Boise State.
Ashton Genty, absolute dog. Maddox Madsen, hopefully.
You want more than that?
Yeah, give me a little more.
More than that?
A little more.
One more?
A little more. There we go. Okay. Maddox Madsen.
Sorry, pour that a little light.
It's all good. Has
Boise
a good
State.
game. Here is my dilemma. As someone who lives in Boise, kids that grew up in Boise, in the Boise area, they don't want to go to Boise State because then you're a townie. You're living in the same town that you grew up in.
Yep.
Kids that grew up in the Boise area, typically for in-state tuition reasons, will end up going to the University of Idaho. What this has caused over the last 25 years of this being rule, Idaho Vandals fans are everywhere. Now, these Idaho Vandals just lost to Oregon by 10 points. Put up a hell of a fight. It was the closest game for the top 10 ranked AP poll college football teams, and it was the Idaho Vandals. That's a double A D1 school, an FCS school. Only loses by 10 points to the Oregon Ducks. Now, next week, Boise State going against the Oregon Ducks. Idaho Vandals fans are insufferable. If Boise State loses by more than 10 points, they will be...
We'll never hear the end.
We won't. We won't hear the end of it. It will be...
We will not hear the end of it from the Vandals fans.
A consistent barrage of Idaho Vandals are now better than Boise State, which Idaho Vandals, I don't think, maybe in the 70s, but I don't think they've ever beaten the Boise State Broncos. But Boise State Broncos are going to beat the Oregon Ducks, and I'm very excited for it. And I had to get that off my chest before we got into building our ladder.
I 100% agree. Go Boise State the whole way. I think we put up a hell of a fight no matter what. We're the best team in Idaho, and the Ducks should be scared.
Mm. And Ashton Genty for Heisman.
It's an absolute dog.
Building our ladder.
I've never seen a running back play like that in a game. That was took over the game.
Coach Chuck Pagano said, he is a rolling ball of butcher knives.
Yeah.
Can't tackle him.
That's a great way to put it. Great way to put it.
It is. It's fantastic.
Put out of shit.
Yeah.
Whipped the dick out and stuck it in Georgia Southern.
Yeah, Georgia Southern.
But
they couldn't tackle him.
Let's build this ladder.
Let's build it.
So, 3 that we're most confident in here.
Okay.
Based on what you're seeing. So the one I feel like we both felt the most confident on. I'm debating between 2 here. So let me know what you're feeling. I felt like we were most confident on the Seahawks in Seattle beating the Broncos by more than 6.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then the Bengals minus 7.5 against the Patriots.
Okay.
I felt like those were the 2 that we were, okay, these are going to be double-digit wins for the team.
Bingo. Yep.
The third one that I would say was the Buccaneers minus 3.5 against Washington. Don't love the 3.5 line, but I felt like those were the 3 we were most confident on.
So let's go Tampa Bay.
Unless you have any debates to that.
I don't. I like it.
Those were the 3 that I felt like, okay, we're 100% on the line.
So we have Tampa Bay
minus 3.5.
3.5.
Seattle minus 6.
Okay.
And then Cincinnati minus 7.5. So this is going to be the first leg of the ladder. This is the one that you're going to put the most amount of money on, because if this one wins, you want it to at least cover everything else that we do. Everything else that we do after this should be profit on top of it, because if these miss, we're both idiots. Okay.
Bingo. Yep.
Next round. What are the ones that you feel the most confident on based on what we talked about? Because I have 2 that I'm seeing that are jumping off the page to me.
Yeah, you see, our arguments were we got into it a little bit. I'm feeling extra good about the Browns. And I'm also feeling pretty good about the Titans. I want to hear what you have to say. What you might remind me of based on the arguments that we did have, because for me, those two are the ones that are jumping off the page.
Okay, so neither of those are jumping off the page to me. I would bet very heavy on the other sides of those both.
I know,
especially on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The ones that I was thinking were the Lions and Rams, where we both said we felt very confident on the Lions.
Yeah.
And then the Panthers, where we both think that Panthers are going to cover the spread against the Saints. Those would be the next two that I would put on. I would leave it open for debate on the other ones. So the Browns one, I feel so strongly confident that did we already bet shots on it?
I think we
did. I think we already did.
I think we did. It's the Cowboys, though. It's the Cowboys.
And it's the Browns. The perennial worst team in the NFL. They have the most first-round draft picks, or the most number one overall draft picks of any team in the NFL, because they are perennially the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, I get that. Who won Coach of the Year last year, though?
Did Stefanski win it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, that's what they've been.
Joe Flacco is the only reason they made the playoffs.
I think Deshaun Watson is better than Joe Flacco, though. Anyways, it's beside the point.
Okay.
I like where we're going with Lions. I like where we're going with Panthers.
I like the Lions one. Maybe I'm reading too much into middle linebacker Ernest Jones being traded away from the Rams, but I think the Lions absolutely just run over the Rams.
What do we have for? What's the money line bet with the Rams and the Panthers?
So the money line bet.
What are the odds, I guess?
So the odds on this. Let's see here. So the Panthers, we wouldn't want to bet money line on Panthers.
No, we don't want to do money line on
the Panthers. Are the
for
dogs.
Sure not.
Lions, but the Lions minus 205. I don't mind doing a Lions money line here.
I don't hate
just
that
securing
either. Minus
securing
205.
an easy win.
We want to do
because I think I would agree to a Lions money line right there.
Carolina plus.
No, just money line. No, not Carolina.
Panthers? We're not doing the Panthers?
No, we were saying Lions. Lions money
Lions
line.
We are doing.
Lions money line.
Detroit money line.
But so the Carolina was with the spread. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do one that we were disagreeing upon the spread, but we like a money line? Say, for instance, Houston and Indianapolis. You took Indianapolis plus 3. I took Houston minus 3.
But we did.
But what about Houston money line?
We like that more than. I mean, I like that. I like Houston money line, but I don't know if I like it more than Carolina with the points.
Or what about this one? So we both took the Raiders plus 3 with the spread.
Mm-hmm.
What about Chargers money line? Because I think the Chargers beat the Raiders. I hate the 3-point spread though. I think that's going to be an absolute dog.
I don't want to take that. I don't like that one.
You don't want to take that one?
I don't think the Chargers.
Okay, what are you thinking then?
I think we either do Carolina with the points.
I like Carolina plus 4. I really like Carolina plus 4.
I do too. I think.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
So Carolina plus 4. We got Tampa Bay. Got Detroit. Got Seattle. Got Cincy. Okay.
Let's get some over-unders in here. I want a little bit of an over-under action on the 6th and 7th legs.
You want a little bit of over-under? I'll tell you the one I feel most confident on. Dallas and Cleveland over 41.
That's your most confident bet?
That one, and then the Jets and Niners over 43.5. Which one of those do you feel more? Do you want to do that one? I'd be down to sprinkle a little bit of Jets Niners over 43.5 on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's sprinkle a little bit of that on there. Over 43.5. You got to do it. Oh. Yeah, do a plus.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Then I would do on the other leg here, if it were 100% up to me, I would do Houston money line against the Colts.
You did love that on the last.
Because I would take them minus 3, but you like the Colts plus 3. I think the Texans win this. I think the 3 spread is a little bit trappy just because it's a division game. But I think C.J. Stroud and the Texans beat the Colts. What are you feeling? What are you feeling here?
It's tough. I like where your head's at. I really do.
What are you feeling? This is where we make our money. This 7,
I know.
9, and
Yeah.
11 legs are where we make money. What are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really soft. Really soft.
Really soft.
Like a little kid.
Okay.
Like a young boy. I just really like Dolphins with the spread. I like Dolphins with the spread here.
Okay. I will succumb to Dolphins with the spread.
Okay.
On 7 if you give me Cowboys for the 9. You give me Dallas plus 2.5 for the 9 against Cleveland.
Okay.
And we take Miami minus 3 right there. I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
Because I'll agree to that one.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Now we have. No, it's the 9.
So that's 8, 9. So we got one more. So the other one that we haven't put on there that I'm down to put on there right now is Arizona covering the spread against Buffalo.
I kind of wanted to wait till the 11.
You want to wait till the 11?
No.
Because I think it's a good one right here.
It's a scary one for me.
I do too. Because here's the thing. I love Arizona on the spread, but I would rather take Bills money line because I think Bills win it by like 1 or 2 points.
It would be a Cardinals fashion.
Well, so before we put anything else up there, let's look at the other games. So the other games besides the Bills Cardinals, we have Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts. We got Vikings and Giants. We got Bears and Titans, and Falcons and Steelers.
So as take Vikings money line?
I would be 100% down to take Vikings money line. I would be
really happy about Vikings money line.
Okay. If we're both happy with that, let's take Vikings money line right there. Let's take Vikings money line.
Okay.
And then the last two spots.
One of them's cards with the points.
Has to be cards with the points. Yeah, has to be cards with the points.
We ride or die with Arizona plus 6.5, correct?
Yeah. And then for me, in my mind, the last spot has to come down to either Chicago money line, not with the spread, Chicago money line, or Houston money line.
Yeah, I want to stay away from Chicago. I'm good with
Texans
Houston.
money line.
Yeah,
Texans money line right there then. Okay. Houston money line.
HOU money line. Okay.
So this is going to be the spread. So your first 3 are going to be Buccaneers minus 3.5, Seahawks minus 6, and Bengals minus 7.5. Your 5 are going to be Panthers plus 4, Lions money line.
Okay.
Then your 7 is going to be Jets Niners over 43.5, Dolphins minus 3. Your 9 bet is going to be Minnesota Vikings money line, Dallas Cowboys plus 2.5. Your 11 is going to be Cardinals plus 6. Houston Texans. Oh, yeah. Cardinals plus 6.5. Houston Texans, money line. That's a ladder right there.
I love it. I think it's a great ladder. Right. Remember, these are all individual parlays. We have a 3-leg parlay. Then you have a 5-leg parlay, including 3-leg parlay, but just adding leg 4 and leg 5. Then we have 7-leg parlay. Same as the 5-leg parlay, but we add leg 6 and 7. Same thing goes with 8 and 9, and then that continues to 10 and 11. That is the betting strategy that Connor and myself will be riding 18 weeks. We're going at it every single week.
Let's absolutely do it. Let's actually go figure out what the money's at.
All right, to top off this episode of Shots and Ladders, we're going to break down our units as well as our possible earnings for our ladder bet. To start it out, our 3-leg parlay came up with a total of plus 590. With a $50 bet on the 3-leg parlay, winning that wins us $295. Now, keep in mind the total amount of units that we're betting on this parlay adds up to a total of 93
$93.
$93. So if we win the 3-leg parlay, which is the one we are most confident in, we win our money back plus a pretty nice profit. That's a good weekend. Now, moving on to our 5-leg parlay. We're going to take half a unit. We're going to bet $25. That $25, if Carolina covers the spread at +4 and Detroit wins their game, then we win $460.75. Moving on to 6 and 7. Now we're lowering the amount that we're betting on the game, but we have $10. That $10 could win $683.50. If Jets and Niners go over 43.5, and if Miami covers a 3-point spread. With these bets, it feels like more of a when than an if. But moving on to 8 and 9, we have $5 on Minnesota winning their game, money line, and Dallas covering a 2.5-point spread. That $5 will win an additional $1,176. And then on to our 10th and 11th legs of our parlay. We're going to only go with $3 on this leg. It's our long shot. It's our right home to mom about leg. But that $3, if Arizona covers a 6.5-point spread and Houston wins outright against the Colts in the Ladd House, we have $2,243 coming home. With everything in this ladder parlay,
In total, you hit 11 legs. 11 legs right here. You spend $93, you win just shy of $5,000.
what is the exact number, Con Man?
It was like 48 and change. It was like 48.60.
$4,860 if we hit every single leg.
That's rent. That's drinks at the bar for many weekends straight. That's betting. That's betting and following us on the ladder for the rest of the year. Everything else is profit.
No, that's a lot of money. We're extremely excited to win all of that because we know we are picking correctly because that's what we do. But this has been the first episode of Shots and Ladders. If you want to tail our bets, I do have to tell you, tail them at your own risk. Connor and I, while we are not quite professional gamblers, but we are knowledged in the game of football, we can't guarantee any of these things are going to happen. So do tail at your own risk. We are not responsible for any sort of loss that you encounter. But
if you win on it, we accept thank you notes.
We are responsible for wins. So when you do win, we do accept a percentage.
Other than that, thank you guys for coming to Shots and Ladders. It was an absolute pleasure hanging out with you, Colson. I can't wait to hang out with you guys next week. Like, this is going to hit, and I can't wait for us to make a shit ton of money when it does.
So much fun. So excited. Can't wait to watch the games on Sunday. Con Man, have a great weekend. Thank you guys for watching.
Let's make some money.
We'll see you next time on Shots and Ladders.